You'd be surprised how many different fish species will eat spinach, and if you've never tried feeding it to your fish before, then you should definitely give it a try. It's fun to watch, easy to do, it's inexpensive, it's safe, and most importantly, it's good for your fish as well. Spinach adds fiber to their diet, which can improve their digestion and prevent issues with bloating. Spinach also contains a special group of pigments known as carotenoids, which are responsible for the yellow, orange, and red colors that you see in your fish and your shrimp. So it can be a great way to make your fish more colorful. In fact, animals cannot produce these pigments on their own, so they must come from their diet. Furthermore, spinach can also help strengthen the immune system of your fish by providing them with high levels of vitamin A, K, and C, along with many important minerals such as iron, magnesium, and potassium. All in all, spinach is an extremely nutrient-rich vegetable that can help improve the overall health of your fish and your shrimp. A good quality food might also provide some of the same benefits to your fish as well, but I'm sure that they would appreciate a little more variety in their diet. And it's also just a lot of fun to watch your fish tear apart a spinach leaf, so it can be quite beneficial for the fish keeper as well. The extra fiber in fresh spinach leaves can also be helpful for those of you that have Rift Lake cichlids, which are prone to a condition known as Malawi bloat. However, not all cichlids will eat spinach, but those that do will benefit from having it added to their diet. And it certainly doesn't hurt to try, no matter what kind of fish you keep. I have several species that love to eat spinach. There's my bristlenose plecos, my hillstream loaches, Neocaridina shrimp, all of my various snail species, guppies, platies, and of course the swordtails that you see here. Some other species that will eat spinach include some of the Rift Lake cichlids, goldfish, platies, mollies, plecos, some tetras, silver dollars, parrotfish, angelfish, amano shrimp, as well as all of the caridina and neocaridina shrimp species. That's just a few of the species that might enjoy eating spinach, but there are many others as well, so don't be afraid to experiment and see how your fish will react to this nutritious vegetable. It's important to note that in humans, eating large quantities of spinach on a regular basis can cause kidney stones and interfere with the uptake of calcium. But I don't think that this problem applies to fish, snails, or shrimp, who all have a very different digestive system. I've been feeding spinach to my snails, shrimp, and fish about 1 or 2 times per week for many years, and I haven't noticed any health problems, so I don't think there's any real cause for concern. There are several different types of spinach, and I buy the bags that are labeled baby spinach, which means that the plant is younger and the leaves are smaller. Baby spinach leaves might also be more tender as well, which would make it easier for the shrimp, snails, and fish to tear apart and eat. It's best to use organic spinach so that you know it hasn't been sprayed with pesticides, and this is especially important if you're feeding it to more delicate species like shrimp. The organic spinach only costs a couple dollars more, and the well-being of your fish and your shrimp is well worth the extra cost. I buy big bags of baby spinach, then freeze the whole thing, which keeps it from spoiling, and it also seems to soften it up a bit as well. When it's time to feed, I remove the amount of spinach that I'll need from the freezer. I bring some water to a boil in a saucepan, then I put the spinach in the pan and boil it for about 2 to 3 minutes. This process is called blanching. Then I remove the blanched spinach with tongs and place it in cold water to stop the cooking process, because the longer you cook your spinach, the less nutritious it will be. If I'm in a real hurry, I've also used a microwave to prepare it as well. Nonetheless, the point is to soften the spinach so that it's easier for the fish to eat and so that it sinks when you put it in your aquarium. Once the spinach is cool to the touch, it's ready to put in your fish tank. I normally just place the spinach in the tank and let the fish have their way with the wilted leaves. But for the purpose of this video, I held the spinach in place against the glass with a magnetic algae scraper. Because if I didn't, they'd be dragging the wilted spinach leaf all over the tank and it would be difficult to film. I feed spinach to my swordtails twice per week. I put in one leaf like you see here, and it takes them about 2.5 hours to finish it all. So there's no need to worry about uneaten spinach rotting and altering the water parameters because these fish go crazy for it, so this leaf won't last long enough to decompose. But if you include the newborn fry, there are probably around 100 swordtails in this tank, so this single leaf will be gone in no time at all. The veins of the leaf are the last things to be eaten because they're a little more sturdy than the other parts of the leaf, but they will be eaten as well. Nonetheless, nothing ever goes to waste in this breeding tank because if the swordtails don't eat it, the snails certainly will. As these koi swordtails tear this spinach leaf apart, an adult will sometimes pull off a large piece of the leaf and then swim around the tank with the spinach hanging out of its mouth, while a bunch of fry follow it around the tank trying to get a bite. It can be quite comical to watch, but difficult to capture on film. There are 2 large females in this aquarium and 1 fully developed male who spends most of his time trying to mate with the females, so he's not all that interested in eating the spinach. I've also tried feeding green beans to my swordtails, but they showed very little interest in eating it, so it was left for an army of bladder snails and ramshorn snails to devour, and they were more than happy to take care of it for me. These swordtails will also eat kale, which is very nutritious, but it requires a longer cooking time to make it soft enough for them to eat. Lettuce will also work, but it contains fewer vitamins and minerals. Nonetheless, even if you don't have swordtails, it's still a good idea to try and see if your fish will eat spinach. You never know how they'll react, and you can experiment with other veggies as well. Zucchini, cucumber, pumpkin, and kale are all worth trying, but if they don't show any interest after a couple hours, it would be best to remove the uneaten food and try something different. Well, it's been 2 hours and 37 minutes since I first put this blanched spinach leaf into my swordtail breeding tank, and as you can see, there's not very much left at all.